Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage our panelists discussing exploring the secret world of influencer communities and the power they wield.
Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, we're good. I am Ryan from a company named Adbloom. Thank you for having me today. We are a company that specializes in user acquisition for a lot of the leading mobile apps that exist in the world today, specifically in the shopping and personal finance and other consumer-facing verticals. Additionally, because of that, we've actually turned out to generate a lot of new business in the market research industry. So we do a lot of recruitment for community and or other ad hoc research projects. What's interesting is that by way of acquiring users, we have come across several different unique channels. And the one channel that is probably the most well-known and broadly defined is influencers. So today, what I think is going to be very, very interesting is we have a lot of curated content from 5 very, very popular influencers in the space that not only have a very large following, but they also have experience promoting market research campaigns directly, which in the influencer world, quite frankly, is very, very rare. So I'm walking around with this Prime energy drink, and it kind of probably is a little weird. It was also weird yesterday when I went over to Ralph's, and I bought about 30 of these. And if anyone knows what they are, there are 2 influencers that are perhaps the most popular in the world. One is named Logan Paul, the other is named KSI. And they decided, hey, we need to create a drink that basically we like. So this is exactly like Gatorade or Powerade or others that are in the space like BioSteel, with one caveat: not a better product, but 2 influencers behind it that not only promote it, but they actually own this product. So I went yesterday over to Ralph's. Why did I go to Ralph's and buy 30 of them? Because I'm Canadian. In Canada, Prime is not available. What's happening is there are bootleggers of Prime drink that costs $1.50 at your local Ralph's when they're on sale that will sell them for $12 to the little 7- and 8-year-old kids that idolize Logan Paul. So I'm saving my sister-in-law a lot of money for my little nephew that is a big Logan Paul fan. And despite the fact that there's all these other brands that exist in the marketplace, a lot like Gatorade with huge celebrities behind them, doesn't matter. All he cares about and all his friends care about is Prime energy drink. And it's to the point where not only does it sell out in Canadian cities, but all the border cities. So I'm from Winnipeg. Fargo and Grand Forks, North Dakota are sold out of Prime energy drink simply because of the demand in another country. And I bring this up because Logan Paul is Michael Jordan of influencers. When everyone says influencer, they think of these huge, huge names and these brands that basically sponsor them to promote and push products and services. What I think is probably most interesting about that is that they seem as though they are not accessible to other companies and other products and other services without having unlimited purse strings to basically throw as much money at these influencers and hope for results. What we have today to kind of prove otherwise is a group of 4 influencers that not only have their own niches and massive audiences, but again, they all promote market research. So everyone here today that is going to be talking on the screen will definitely have experience promoting either community, panel, or some other sort of market research. Before we quickly go to that, I think it's interesting just to kind of take a look at how we got here. And this isn't an exact science, but my background's casual games. And what ended up happening 10 years ago is I was in charge of all the new user acquisition, so new players, for GSN, the game show network here in Los Angeles. And we were the #1 casual games company in the entire world. The secret about casual games at that time is regardless of the game that people were playing, and just for clarity, when we talk about casual games, we're talking about puzzle games, trivia games, lighthearted, easy-to-play games. The #1 game at that time never was advertised was solitaire. No matter what, everyone loved solitaire. So being the marketing, in my mind, genius that I thought I was, logically, if everyone's playing solitaire, I probably want to go out to market and be aggressively promoting solitaire. At this time, there was a new and upcoming competitor named Candy Crush that was kind of eating everyone's lunch. So we rolled out solitaire because you know what? This data shows that solitaire is our #1 game. We promoted solitaire, and I guess I would equate it to paint drying on a wall in terms of the excitement to get people to be interested in that product. Huge failure. What we did, though, is we had a lot of great brand IP because we had Sony as our parent company. So we had games like Wheel of Fortune, or Jeopardy, or Price is Right. And what ended up happening is we said, you know what, let's stop promoting solitaire, let's start promoting Wheel of Fortune and see what happens. Wheel of Fortune, way bigger brand than at the time Candy Crush was, and our traffic went through the roof. What happened, however, is the most interesting part, and this is why it's my favorite marketing story of all time. As soon as people entered into our site, GSN, they would play one game of Wheel of Fortune, and then what do you think they did? Almost every single one of them went and played solitaire. So despite my attempt to get them to play solitaire by saying, hey, come and play solitaire, which didn't work, I said, hey, come play Wheel of Fortune. They played a little bit of Wheel of Fortune, and then they ended up playing solitaire anyways. And I say that story for two reasons. I say it because in a world of research, it's a very data mind and data mindset that everyone here has. Analytics are everything, and that normally is the case. But the analytics in that case told me solitaire was the way to go. The reality is it wasn't. So it's a world of intangibles that kind of exist in this type of marketing, especially when you go into the world that we work in, which is non-programmatic acquiring users. So with all that said, Wheel of Fortune is very similar to influencers in that the reason that people decided to come and play games at GSN is because GSN was associated with that Wheel of Fortune brand. It automatically, even though it was in 50 million households on television, automatically got the credibility simply by having Wheel of Fortune on its roster of games. Influencers offer that exact same association, and in a lot of instances have that association in a specific vertical with specific users that follow them. And I promise shortly, I'll stop talking and we'll start listening to what these influencers have to say. And I think what you'll find is it's very akin to Wizard of Oz, right? Where they have a presentation in front, but once you kind of pull back the curtain and understand who the real person is, you can truly appreciate that a lot of these people were just subject matter experts or started doing something for their friends, and next thing you know, they have 500,000 followers. So it's not as though people normally set out to be influencers. A lot of the time, it happens by accident. So with that said, if we go back to the slide here, we started in 2010 or so was when the casual game space started migrating away, and as did the internet, from desktop slowly towards mobile. And this is a rough estimate, not of when these technologies launched, rather when the marketing on these platforms started to take off outside of their own programmatic ads. So as opposed to buying ads on Facebook, now you're contacting the page owner of a Facebook page to run your ad. So what we see here is a very interesting trend. What started with desktop heavy, eventually ended with mobile and messaging. And I think what that tells us as we look at the market, and you'll hear it from these influencers, is that in a world where we all expect to have 10, 15, 20-minute surveys, it's tough when every single influencer is almost training the behavior of short-form content and short-form consumption of that content. They would rather produce 10-second clips than 1 minute and a half clip. And that's what leads us to today. And what we're seeing is, not only are these influencers moving on from what are traditional known platforms like Instagram, but we're also seeing them evolve in how they present content. And I think one of the best examples of that is one of our partners, Kendall. So we'll let Kendall talk and introduce himself.
Hey, SampleCon, I hope you guys are having a great show. My name is Kendall, also known online as the Freebie Guy. Over the course of the past several years, I have built an audience of millions online. Not only teaching people how to shop smarter and save money, but how to have fun while doing it. One of the things that we've discovered in the course of doing this is that my audience really likes giving their opinion. And they really like knowing that their opinion is going to affect the retailers they're shopping at every day and the products that they're purchasing. In partnership with Adbloom, we've done several community projects that have been a huge success, and we look forward to working with you guys on any of your shopping-related research needs. Have a great show.
So Kendall's a unique person in that he is a male in a very, very female-centric setting. All of his followers are female, but it's all content that people like, produced in a format that's very consumable. And what's happened is, and the secret that Kendall came across, is with the growth of messaging, specifically apps like Telegram, is that anything that has an instant need, whether that be for gratification or information, is relevant. So Telegram is a messaging app, for all of you that don't know. It's predominantly more popular in Europe, but has drastically grown here in the US. So what's interesting about Telegram is when someone goes and subscribes to a Telegram channel, it's private. So you can think of it as Twitter, but you have to know the exact person on Twitter to follow. What's compelling is that all these micro communities are now forming on Telegram that are around specific subjects, one being shopping and getting deals. So for example, if there is a deal at Target, there may only be 10 left until it sells out. Having that information rapidly is important. So you can see that on his Telegram feed here, and it'll come down, all that happens all day long is he is promoting certain types of products and sales and value adds to his customers. And not only that, he's instantly getting feedback on it. So you'll see here, when we click on the comments, all the instant feedback that his users are leaving, and the fact that all of this occurs in a very, very rapid period of time allows all this information to be pushed out and rapidly generate sales, generate leads, generate conversions, whatever you're looking for. Because unlike traditional media, unlike email, there's no delay. If someone gets this Telegram message, and don't forget, they're opted in, they're very interested, they're getting a push notification on their phone the exact same way as a text message. And the last thing that we'll look at here just quickly before we dive into these influencer videos, and I mentioned Telegram, I've highlighted it there, is this is the current state of social media today. Facebook dominates just simply because it has such a global presence. But what you're starting to see is a lot of these messenger apps. Telegram is up there, Facebook Messenger is up there, WeChat is up there, all of those, QQ is up there, all of them are starting to come up in popularity. And there's several reasons for it, but we're not talking about that today. We're talking about the trends. And what's important to realize is how does the evolution happen? How do you go from blogger to Instagrammer to perhaps TikToker to Telegrammer? And now we're seeing the transition of people that initially were blogging are now turning to these broadcast apps like Telegram to push out campaigns. And again, the caveat to all of this is that every community is built around a topic. Kendall's built around shopping. There's communities that are built around cars. There's communities that are built around teachers. There's all these sorts of private communities that are not necessarily exposed to the world and are quite exciting because when it comes to promoting offers, specifically research offers, there's very, very little competition. So when someone sees a survey in one of these apps, they're more engaged and more likely to not only participate, but to stick around longer when they complete it. So the influencers we have today are 4 ladies. They're all fantastic in their own way, and they all reach their segmented audiences with very unique topics. We'll go ahead and we'll listen to what they have to say and let them explain their accounts to you.
My name is Bianca, also known as Mama Sakes Money on Instagram. I am a content creator that focuses on a budget-friendly lifestyle. I live in Pittsburgh, PA, and I started my accounts a few years ago when I became a mother. When my son was about a year old, I started getting really into couponing and saving money any way we could as a young family. And I started creating content for my own Instagram page. As to not annoy my friends and family with all the deals that I scored, I started doing it on Instagram on that separate page. And what started as a hobby kind of grew up to about 75,000 followers just on Instagram alone now.
So that's Bianca. We'll move on to Shannon, owns the most popular Trader Joe's Instagram account in the world.
Hi everyone, my name is Shannon Fong, and I'm the owner of Trader Joe's Obsessed on Instagram with a little bit over 600,000 followers. I've had this account for 5 years, so June will be my 5th year. I've always been a fan of Trader Joe's ever since I used to, shop with my mom as a little kid in San Francisco, and I would just help her, and I just found all these wonderful, new products and fun products and yummy food for a reasonable price, and so I just incorporated the love of my Trader Joe's with my personal account, and then my friends were like, please just start another account. So I really originally just did this for my friends, not necessarily, to grow and, become an influencer, but it just so happened, and I'm so excited, and it's so fun.
So one of Shannon's friendly rivals in Instagram is Dollar Tree Dolly, who is the most popular Dollar Tree influencer in the world today. Kim is her non-online name. Listy, she says.
Hi, my name is Kim, and I am the Instagram influencer behind the page at Dollar Tree Dolly. And on my page, I post tons of shopping content, including videos, reels, and photos. And a majority of things that I post are new items that I find while I'm shopping at Dollar Tree. But I also do Target Dollar Spot. Walmart finds are also really popular for me. Basically, any great finds while I'm out shopping, also clearance finds. And I actually started this Instagram page back in April of 2020. It was kind of right when the pandemic was happening, and I originally started out in beauty, makeup tutorials, and I still do that, but I wanted to do something different. I wanted to create a separate Instagram page, and one that I could really niche down on and grow, and I really loved shopping, and I loved Dollar Tree.
So Kim and Shannon are representative of, I would say, the 5 big brands on Instagram that you'll find accounts for are Trader Joe's, Dollar Tree, Walmart, Target, and actually Costco would be the last. So those brands seem to have a lot of people. Obviously, the cream rises to the top here, but it's definitely specific stores have very, very loyal people, I think is the important learning there. Lastly, we have Latasha, who is fantastic herself.
Hi everyone, I am Latasha Peterson. I am a side hustle expert and blog business coach and the founder, along with my husband, of Arts and Budgets LLC. So I actually got the name Arts and Budgets because of my love for the performing arts industry. I have a background in musical theater and also singing, and also my love for personal finance. So from there in 2016, I started the Arts and Budgets blog.
So Latasha, Kim, Shannon, Bianca are representative of literally tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of influencers that have significant enough followings to justify advertising on their platform. What we have found is when researching influencers, no one ever has asked really basic questions. Why did they get into being an influencer? What are your audience and followers most interested in? So what we try to do here is we ask the same question to each of these ladies, getting each of their perspectives about how their accounts are relevant to the influencer world, but also to their specific platform. So the first question we asked is, why do people follow you? And we'll see what they had to say.
Easy recipes for everyone, 10 minutes and under, and they can just go to
Sorry about that.
Trader Joe's and grab it, and then make it at home, because I'm a busy mom myself, and so that's one of the reasons. Another reason I think is because I try to post the new products right away. And so I go to Trader Joe's 5 times a week. So I go there and I'm like, oh, new. I post it, and then I also take pride in my pictures. I have a photography background, so I make sure that the lighting's good and everything. And I try to post about the price, and I try to review them right away. So I think that's why people follow. I also try to make reels and see what people like, and I answer every DM that comes. So I ask them, what do you want to hear more of? Or sometimes I create a poll on my stories. So I try to interact with them, and people have been really sweet. So I'm grateful.
In the area that I live, I have about 40 different Dollar Trees to go to, so I'm always at the stores finding new items, and I have a really great selection. So people love coming to my page and seeing what I find, so then they can go out and find it for themselves. And I think also a lot of people tell me they can't find what I find, which also kind of makes this ideal situation where people say, I have the best stores where I live, so it kind of makes it where people want to keep coming back to my page and seeing what I find because it's exciting.
And we'll end here with Bianca.
I think people follow my accounts because I'm relatable. I'm pretty much just an average mother who doesn't want to spend a fortune on life. So I think the fact that I share ways to save money, like home hacks, mom hacks, very affordable DIYs, that's the reason my following follows me. I have a pretty, I'd say a close community of followers who have been following me since the beginning. In the beginning, I would share couponing deals and Dollar Tree finds, and now my page has evolved into just a mesh of everything. And a lot of my following is also invested in watching my son grow up. Some of them have been there since he was 1.5, 2, and now he's 5. So they're invested in our lives, and it feels like a family.
So I think what's interesting is every single one of them mentioned community. And what that means in this instance is actually unique, because initially they were all following. There was the superstar, right? There was Trader Joe's Obsessed. But what they found in common was, hey, we both follow Trader Joe's Obsessed. So they now have met in the comments, and these influencers have formed little communities where not only are they interacting with the influencer, but these communities are interacting, the users are interacting with one another on someone's Instagram page, which is, Instagram was built for people to interact on. And now it's another level of that is people are interacting on influencers' pages on Instagram. So it's really evolved over the years, the community element. And a lot of it is the fact that they can poll their users, get instant feedback, and then curate the content to exactly what those users are asking for. The next question we asked, and this is something that comes up a lot, and it's definitely applicable by demographic. I mean, I purposely didn't include TikTok in today's presentation because I don't know the lifespan of that app in the future, and most of the influencer dollars these days, the non-sponsorship influencer dollars, are not being spent on TikTok. All of TikTok's revenue these days, for the most part, is coming from their own proprietary ad network and sponsorships where an influencer will get directly paid from a brand. And the reason for that is because they're not allowed to embed links on TikTok. On Instagram, however, stories are very popular. Stories were a ripoff of TikTok, let's be honest. And the big difference there is that once you have a core following of 10,000 or plus followers, you're actually able to embed links into your stories. Up until 10,000, you can't do that. So users are able to generate affiliate links, commerce links, and project links for communities like research that are relevant to them on Instagram. On TikTok, they cannot. The only place that they are able to drive users off of TikTok is their profile link, which is why all of those services like link in bio and all those kind of link tree type services exist. So when we talk about platform, specifically for research, we have found that it's really the Instagrams of the world, the Telegrams of the world, the ones that have the communities built around them, but on top of that, actually empower the users to be able to empower the influencers to send the user somewhere, as opposed to try to keep them on the platform like TikTok does. So let's see how they answered this question, starting with Latasha here.
Well, I actually utilize two platforms the most for my business. The first one is Pinterest. I utilize Pinterest to help boost up traffic to my website along with SEO. And then I also utilize Instagram to build a community. So on Instagram, it's a really awesome place to take my readers and the people that I follow behind the scenes to see how I operate managing an online business, how I am a mom too and a wife, and how I manage all of that to create a profitable business. So Instagram is great for building that community and also building that trust with your target audience.
So I would definitely say Instagram is my core main platform, which honestly surprises me because Instagram is really hard to grow as a platform, but I have the most followers on there and I've gotten the most views on Instagram as well. I have 139,000 followers on my Dollar Tree Dolly Instagram page, and a lot of my Instagram reels have gotten over 10 million views, which honestly is so crazy, but it's really exciting to see how the page grows and how people interact with my content.
Core platform is mainly Instagram, just because I feel like a lot of my followers are my generation, which is Gen X, and millennials, Gen Y. And so we kind of like to see pictures and recipes and not too much of the noise of, the TikTok right now. So, but my daughter, my 13-year-old daughter, is helping me with TikTok, and so I'm slowly getting into that too. And they love reels and, just really quick things. And so for us, I feel like we like to see more and reference things and recipe saves and just a picture and just kind of like a slower pace.
And I think she's very accurate in when she says that. And I think really what has occurred is 10 years ago, people would be willing to read text. Next thing you know, these platforms like Instagram came around and the only text they had to read was the caption underneath the photo. Nowadays, people won't even read tags and captions underneath the photo or even view regular Instagram posts, because the first thing they do when they open up Instagram on the app is they start looking at their stories. That's why stories took off so much. And it wasn't by accident. I mean, Instagram saw TikTok, they said, wow, like these guys are doing something special, and copied it. And they've seen the success. And like I said, the key difference is on Instagram, these people are able to embed links. TikTok, you cannot embed links today. The next question that we asked this group was, how do you keep the followers' attention? Which is always a challenge that we have on all the projects we work on.
Always wanted to share things that I would want someone to tell me about. I feel like my page is very much like a friend sharing a tip, like, oh my God, girl, look at this, it's so affordable, but it looks so expensive, or oh my God, this life hack, you have to try it, saved you so much time. So I think that sharing things like that grabs their attention, and just consistency and knowing what does well, and just getting to know my audience.
A great way that I like to see what my followers like is going into the analytics, and you can see what videos are the most popular. So if I see a video that did really well I want to try and make more videos like that or recreate it. There's always like a certain topic that performs the best for me, or like a certain brand at Dollar Tree that I show that always performs the best. And honestly, sometimes the comments do get a little bit controversial. So even though it might be a little bit controversial, it actually is really good for my page because so many people start commenting. So you want to have that mix of like that evergreen content as well as that content where people are kind of, I don't want to say fighting in the comments, but it definitely, strikes a chord with people, and you want to be kind of pushing the envelope a little bit with.
Let me tell you, like, there's not a fight like the Dollar Tree Dollies comment section on our Instagram page. I can only imagine what those arguments are about. We'll see what Latasha has to say.
So I think the individuals follow me for side hustle and also entrepreneur content. I post a lot of side hustle content, helping individuals find the best and most profitable side hustles to make extra money. And I also post entrepreneur content, such as how to turn a blog into a profitable business, so an individual can have freedom and also work remotely from anywhere. So a lot of the people that follow me definitely follow me for either side hustle content or entrepreneurial content.
And I think what's interesting about all these influencers is they really understand their audience, and they don't intuitively understand their audience. They put in the legwork. Shannon, Trader Joe's Obsessed, said earlier she responds to every comment. She has 600,000 followers. I can only imagine how many hours she spends responding to those people. But it's worth her time. It's why she grew to 600,000, because although she's a taste leader, she's also leading her users in a direction they want to go. She is an ambassador for Trader Joe's. She's an ambassador for the products at Trader Joe's, but she's also catering her content to whatever content was successful in the past. So it's some prediction, some taste making, but a lot of, quite frankly, what everyone here does, asking people for their opinion and their immediate feedback. She just happens to do it in the comments. So the last question that we asked here today was trends. Everyone wants to know what the next big trend is on influencers, and let's hear it from the people themselves about how this industry is going to evolve and why they think their content does so well.
Well, we have to create a lot more content now because 5 years ago, there were like 10 Trader Joe's accounts. And so now I'm competing against maybe 60 or 70 Trader Joe's accounts. So I have to always be innovative and post. I post 3 times a day actually. So I used to post once or even once every 2 days, but now I have like 20 stories up and everything.
So she's posting more frequently.
People are wanting to follow normal people more. Before, I think that people would go on Instagram years ago to see the celebrities that they liked and what they were doing, what they were wearing, but I feel like social media has evolved so much since then, and the average person and someone that you can see yourself in is who you want to follow.
I think that authenticity is going to be huge, key. You have to be yourself. People want to see that. They don't want to see anything fake. We are so beyond that. It is now all about being truly raw and being yourself and showing your personality. Personality is everything. You have to be able to just, like I said, be yourself, because that is going to take you so far, and really just making your content a part of people's life, a part of their routine. How are you inserting yourself into your followers' life?
So that's interesting, and that's where we'll end it today, because you can go and explore influencers and interesting tidbits about them all day long. But I think the biggest takeaways today are that these are normal people. It kind of seems like, and I know this, but just based on what they said, these people kind of got into this by accident. They just happened to love Trader Joe's, and Shannon just happened to become the biggest Trader Joe's influencer in the world. It was all about timing, yes, but it was also about her ability to recognize that she was very good at posting that type of content. So I think that's very, very big. Logan Paul is a great example of an influencer, but he is not the average influencer. Like I said earlier, he's the Michael Jordan of influencers. The people that we just saw talking, those are the influencers that when people use that term, those are the ones that are actually driving a lot of the volume in the space, whether it be in all the consumer app space, in all the e-commerce space, and right now, slowly growing, the market research space. The other thing that came up, I don't know if you saw it, was authenticity. All of them care about authenticity. I think people's BS meter has definitely reached all-time highs, and the most success, like they said, comes from telling real stories, not telling, soap opera equivalent stories about, oh, this is what happened at Trader Joe's today. And authenticity to these people are the fact that they actually go to the store. They're actually living the life that they're presenting on Instagram. And then lastly, it's really about content. And I think we can all appreciate surveys are long, that's okay. People are still gonna do surveys, that's not gonna change. But what we have to recognize is that when the whole rest of the world is saying, okay, I no longer am not only willing to watch a 2-minute YouTube video, I'm barely willing to watch a 20-second reel. And that's showing because all this traffic is slowly moving on to Telegram, instant gratification. So I think what's most important is that content is changing its form. It went from long-form, engaging content to now short-form content, but more volume of it. So the same volume in terms of length is being produced, it's just presented in more individual, short-clipped ways, thanks to obviously the TikToks and the Instagram stories of the world. So at the end of the day, I really think everyone needs to consider Instagram and influencers and other platforms beyond Instagram, quite frankly, for traffic. The world has evolved. No one has ever really kind of looked at these platforms as, okay, if someone's following a Trader Joe's page, do we really need to requalify them as a Trader Joe's shopper? Why would you do that? Why would someone follow Trader Joe's Instagram unless they're actually looking for Trader Joe's deals? So it's what's, I think, starting to form, and I think what we find a lot of success in is matching the right influencers with the right community projects or the right relevant topic, research initiatives, and pushing traffic that way. And it's become wildly successful with not only their audiences, because there's very little competition, very little surveys and whatnot are being run on Instagram, but as you can tell, it's a very passionate, fighting in the Dollar Tree Dollies comment section audience. So they definitely are very interested in sharing their opinion. And that's it. I think at the end of the day, influencers are great, they're not going away, and the big takeaway is there's a world of influencers outside of Logan Paul. It's happening in research today, and it's going to become even more important to understand how to get traffic from influencers, because frankly, that's where all the traffic on the internet is going. There will not be places to recruit traffic and users from that don't involve these new channels like influencers and Telegram and so on and so forth. So with that said, I hope everyone enjoys the rest of the show and appreciate you guys listening in.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage our SampleCon president, Rachel Altmont.
Okay, so can I just ask a question, Ryan, about your presentation? One of the influencers said people want to hear from average people.
Okay.
Do you think that influencers are trying to be average people?
I think they are average people. I think that's the secret. And that's why I tried to reference Wizard of Oz. I think there's definitely, and it's interesting because they talk about authenticity. So it's slowly going away in that they're becoming more comfortable showing themselves. But of the influencers that were there today, for example, Trader Joe's obsessed Shannon, she doesn't appear on camera at all. So she exclusively pushes products. So I think what's starting to happen is people like Shannon are becoming more comfortable, coming out in front of the camera, and they really are people with other careers outside of influencers. Shannon, I believe, works at Warner Brothers in the accounting department, in addition to being the #1 Trader Joe's influencer in the world. So I think they are definitely very, very average, but they're special in that they recognize the topic that they're talking about they have something to offer about it that perhaps other people don't.
Gotcha.
Like the Dollar Tree Dolly, for example, she has, I think it's like 40 stores right around her. So it's also a combination of that kind of stuff. You're in the right proximity of things, and she's going to visit all those stores, and she's still a normal person, but she's just all around her and has that kind of competitive advantage over other influencers. So I think it's a combination of those two factors.
That's great. Thank you. So thank you, Ryan, for that. It was super interesting to hear from the influencers and start to think about kind of what this future looks like and where we're going. So as we look at the end of today, which has been filled with a ton of content, it's now time to have some fun. So we're gonna leave out of here and head into our Golden Happy Hour, which has been sponsored by Make Opinion, and that is located in the lobby lounge. So if you, do I sound normal? Do I sound fun? So if you go out and you walk down the hallway between the Royce restaurant and the tap room is the lobby lounge. That is set up for the bar. There will be an activity going on in there that I have been told that will result in someone winning one of the new gold iPhones tonight, so that might be worth going to check out. And then this evening from 8 to 10, we're going to be hosting our big 10th anniversary after party out down by the pool area. And I am excited to see who's going to join us in live karaoke tonight with a band. So we will see everybody tonight. Thank you guys for everything, for holding it in today, and we will continue to go on. And we'll see you tomorrow for quality, our whole quality day.